Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engine. Okay, now it's been like, what, a month since I did the last video? Roughly a month? Yeah, sorry about that. But, again, it's been kind of a, kind of a rough go of things. I already explained all that earlier, and then coined with that, plus just generally being busy, because of usually financial things, because being an adult isn't always fun. It can be, though. Anyways, but now I've figured I'm going to get back into it because, hey, I can. Today's episode, we're going to do a theme, and this theme is going to be Red Dwarfs. No, not Red Giants, Red Dwarfs. Because they make up about 80% of the stars in our galaxy. And they're also very interesting. They're also harder to see. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna kind of look for the dim stars. It's an orange dwarf, red dwarf. Ha! Got it. Boop. Yeah, it's kind of like how our sun's classified as a yellow dwarf, or people say it is. However, it's like larger than most planets or stars in the galaxy. It's just smaller compared to the larger stars. There are some pretty damn large stars out there, but whatever, it's still a main sequence. Let's go there, because why not? Very tidally locked, I can tell you that. Ooh, I saw a moon. There's like one frame of moon. Oh wait, there it is. There it is. Alright, so one frame o moon. It's a very asteroidal moon, and I lost it again. Whatever, not important. We're looking for red dwarfs, but we're looking for interesting ones. So we're gonna look at the dim stars, because red dwarfs are very dim. They also pose both positives and negatives for looking for life around them. Red dwarf, no life. Because although they're tiny, which makes them easy to see planetary transits, they're also very abundant. You can also have very compact systems around them of stars, because, the habitable zones are much closer to the stars themselves. Aha! However, that poses the big question, or I guess problem, because red dwarfs are sometimes flare stars, which means they flare a lot. And even just naturally by themselves, like our sun flares frequently, but, we're far enough away from the sun that it doesn't really affect us that much. Plus, we have a magnetic field. Whereas around red dwarfs, you have to be very close to the star to be in the habitable zone, so you could theoretically, more atmospheres will be blasted off by flares. Granted, if the star or the planet in question has a magnetic field, like a strong one, it probably would be okay. Or if the life lives underground or under the water, then it might be okay. You never know. Look at all that organic unicellular. Also, if the life is kind of like, well, it's like the habitable zone of a star is kind of a narrow criteria, I suppose, because it only accounts for like the place where you can have liquid water on the surface of a planet and life like us. It makes no mention to other like habitats for life. For example, Europa is very much a candidate for looking for life, and it's nowhere near the sun's habitable zone. Or the moon Titan, same thing. It might have life on it. It would be very different from us, but there might be life there, and it's nowhere near the habitable zone. So it's like the habitable zone, I need to enunciate more, only really means a place where you can find a planet like Earth. It doesn't mean the only place you can find life, so that's also to be, something to think about when talking about the habitability of a star or a planet in its area. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's not in the habitable zone, therefore it doesn't mean life. Or people think, oh, it is in the habitable zone, therefore it must have life. And that's not always the case. Here's a triple red dwarf system with life. That's kind of cool. our life-bearing planet is right here. It's like all those things where it's like, you know, oh, NASA found a planet that is in the habitable zone and is probably Earth-like. And it's like, no. Nobody said that. They said that if it has an atmosphere and, or if it has a thick enough atmosphere, it potentially could have water on its surface, which is semi-Earth-like. But the people think it's like, oh, because of that, you mean it must have like liquid oceans and it must have oxygen in its atmosphere and must be just like Earth. It's like, no, this isn't Star Trek yet. It might be, but not right now. A lot of the planets they find that are classified as Earth-like or potentially Earth-like, they usually mean that the potential to be Earth-like is there, but there's no guarantee that it is Earth-like. Let's check out the information of this here planet. As much fun as I'm enjoying flying over its surface. We have terrestrial, organic, multicellular, and it's abiogenic. That's pretty fantastic. This is actually a nice little planet. I'm kind of liking this. It has a bunch of moons. Mostly little asteroidal moons. Kind of like Mars. Mars is an asteroid, has two. It's kind of like this big rock space zeppelin. I always like the word zeppelin. I don't know why, I just do. Big rigid airships. Anyways, I think the band Led Zeppelin, their name was kind of based off. It was based off the term going down like a lead balloon. You know, meaning something that'll fail, because when they first tried to like pitch ideas, I think someone made a comment like that where it's like basically telling them they're not going to succeed. I don't know for sure, but and apparently they chose the name Led Zeppelin to make fun of that. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea. I think I just remember hearing that somewhere, but I'm not a music history aficionado, so I don't know. I know a lot of things. What the was that? A Zirconian star? Zirconium star. That's a thing? Okay, we're gonna take a temporary break from our... Oh, screw you. Okay. Info. Zirconium star. I always forget what zirconium is. It's like crystallized something. 1 second. I need to check this because I need to fact check. Huh. Zirconium is a transition metal between ytterbium and niobium. Well then, that's exciting. I learned something today. Again, another thing, if you don't know something, saying I don't know is never a bad thing. In fact, the question, or the answer, or the statement I should say, the statement I don't know is the beginning of knowledge, so, because it's just, oh, a carbon star. Like, you have people out there who think that, you know, if they say something and they're called out on it as wrong, they'll try to backpedal instead of just admit that they're wrong. And it's like, don't do that. Just admit that you're wrong and, like, learn from the experience. So, I'll frequently say, I don't know, and go from there. So, yeah. Zirconium. Aha! Wait, I think we were, is this the same one? Let's find out. That'd be kind of dumb if it was. No, I think, yeah, no, it's different. I was about to say, it's like, wait a minute. This is a, I'm gonna say purple planet, although I'm not sure, because purple, pink, and blue kind of will sometimes look the same to me if they're the same similar tone, and I'm not actually sure if I've ever actually seen what purple looks like. So what I think is purple is just kind of like a learned experience. I don't actually know if I've actually seen what purple looks like, so color blindness is fun. So actually it might be blue. See, now it's looking like it's blue to me. I don't know. I don't know the color. I don't really care. Fact is, it's an interesting planet. It's a nice planet. It's... well, it's kind of a crappy condition actually to live there. Never mind, we're gonna leave that planet. What's that? Blue main sequence. No, we're doing Red Dwarfs. The only exception was that Zirconium star, because I've never seen it before. White supergiants. Nope. Hey, look, another zirconium star. Anyways. But yeah, I've been kind of busy the last few weeks, working on stuff, making money, attempting to make money. You know, the usual. My balloon project, it's still going, but the storm balloon, the one I'm gonna send through a thunderstorm, that one's been moved till next summer because I really screwed up. I should have started doing like funding and say like all that with it a long time ago, like months in advance, but I didn't. So I'm gonna keep working on that one, and we're going to launch that sometime next summer. However, because you know I still like fun, I've moved. Like I have other balloon projects that are all kind of interconnected towards development for technologies and pieces for the rocket program. And one of them is that's a really big storm, and one of them is like it's like the only thing it's gonna do is go up and it's gonna test the mechanical sample collector or a prototype thereof that'll eventually be refined and used on the rocket program. So look at that. So that one might launch sometime. I don't know. That one's not season dependent. So like that'll launch whenever the hell it's done. So I'm still working on the storm balloon, and I'm actually like most of the funding's going towards that. But I'm also currently putting together the sample shelf, which is basically what it is, for the other balloon. And I might launch that one first because, well, it's cheaper to make and it requires less materials, and it's not season dependent. And plus, we can reuse a lot of the equipment from it to use in the storm balloon for the summer, so it'll make that cheaper too. So that's kind of exciting. I also know one of these days I need to like get around to stitching the inner bladder for my my pressure suit, because I've had the fabric for literally half a year, and it's just sitting there in its box, folded up, and I have the pattern I need for it too right here, but it's just really difficult for me to get around to actually doing it. Yeah. That's mostly related to just like brain things. Don't worry about it. I'll get to it eventually. I actually need to also finish up some parts on the helmet. Mostly because I used the what do you call it? The exhaust valve on the side of the helmet. I used that to make the plug. Because like, you know, I basically removed it and I filled it with epoxy and made it a solid piece and screwed it back in. And that's just the plug, because I don't need the exhaust valve on the side of the helmet. The exhaust valve is going to be somewhere else in the suit. But I need to sand it down so it looks like good, because it kind of looks, well, it looks okay, but it looks kind of dumb. So I'm going to sand it down, and the whole helmet's going to get a new coat of paint when all is said and done. Even on the inside, I use the rubber stopper in the that came with it to kind of plug the inside too of the valve. But I might actually remove that. Like, it doesn't really take up any space in the helmet, like when you're wearing it. But I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not remove it. Either way, the helmet's going to be used. It's just it's mostly done. I also need to find to replace the hose attachment on the one side to a more modern hose attachment. You know, just bringing it up to modern standards. Always fun. What's this? A lot of red dwarfs, but not too many with life. Well, actually, it's probably a lot with life. I'm just going through them individual. I was also asked to find a system with as many planets as I can, and if I find that, I'll do that. But that's more of a trial and error thing. Ooh, what's this? That's an orange dwarf with life, but that's kind of boring. 9 planets, 1 with life, orange dwarf. A little too close to home. See, I'm using the parallax to find the red dwarfs. So like, I just move it back and forth, and I look for very dim things that are moving around. It's kind of like an actual astronomy technique for looking for faint objects in, well, usually pictures and all that, is you snap back and forth between them, and things that are moving close by will will move more than the stars in the background. This is how they found Pluto, actually. And it's also how they find a lot of red dwarfs, or brown dwarfs and stuff. And I was actually helping one of those projects. I was doing one of those like crowdsource science things where they give you a whole bunch of things and you scan between them and you pick out potential targets. I could probably still be doing that, but I kind of forgot and haven't been doing it. It's more of just a fun thing to do when I'm bored. We're trying to find planet 9. Ah, there we go. Oh, those are wide binaries. Marine and terrestrial. That sounds familiar. And again, it must be tidally locked because it has that massive storm. And it has a volcano. There's a lot of volcanoes. That volcano is peeking out above the clouds. I'm in the ocean now. Whoa. Land. This is a very, I don't know, shield volcano looking volcano. Kind of like the Hawaiian Islands. They're kind of, well, they are shield volcanoes. Wow. That's actually really pretty. I like that. I like that a lot. That huge magma basin. I wonder, is it actually liquid or no, it's just a solid texture. Whoa. Well, let's get out of here. Nope, wrong button. My keyboard is very noisy. Let's get a mechanical keyboard and make it even noisier. So all you hear is just click, 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 click as I'm playing. Which you already do, but it'd be even worse, and it'd be hilarious. Actually, no, it wouldn't be hilarious, it'd be really annoying. There's a limit between, you know, like, screwing with people and my viewers, or just, like, being a decent human being. That's a red dwarf. There's also one I saw kind of next to it. I think. Oh yeah, there it is. It's a very faint star. It's a white dwarf. Red dwarf. Doo-doo-doo. Red dwarf. Red dwarfs are very hard to spot. They're just not very luminous. But they also have the longest lifespans. Literally can burn for trillions of years. So it's like the last stars in the galaxy. Like the first stars in the universe may have been blue stars and white stars, or like, you know, mostly blue stars. But the last stars in the universe will be red dwarfs. Because blue stars burn fast and die young. Red stars burn cold and die ancient. Absolutely ancient. It also means they have a higher chance of life developing around them because they live for so damn long that you could have multiple civilizations rise and fall in the same star system. Because literally trillions of years, like here on Earth, it only took, what, 4.5 billion years to go from the like cyanobacteria to human civilization. So, in the course of a red dwarf's like lifetime, you could have like thousands of human civilizations rising and falling. So like even if the planet gets sanitized, you could still get life and intelligence, and it's actually kind of cool. It also makes the idea that perhaps we haven't found alien life yet, because perhaps we're some of the first batches of life in the universe to reach sentience, and we're alone. And it's like, that kind of sucks. Cause like but again, it's statistics. If you look at the entire age of the universe, we're only in the first few billion years of the universe's age. So, it's like chances are the universe will have the highest abundance of life somewhere in the midpoint or late point of its age. So, I still think there's probably a lot of intelligent life out there. It's just we need to find it. Like there's like even like as now like the universe is old enough to have allowed us to evolve, and it's old enough to have let other things evolve before us too. So there may have been life before us. There's definitely going to be life after us, so it's kind of cool. A little sad. There we go. Boom. Okay. We'll look at this planet, and we'll go from there. Wow. Subglacier. See, this life would be protected from solar storms. It's all subglacial. Way to be, little guys. Alright, but yeah, it's it's multicellular, so there might be animal life, like deep sea fish things. Look at this crater. Look at this crater without a crater. Yeah, that joke's overused. We're not going to do it. Well, anyways, that has been 20 minutes. We're going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have ideas for other places for me to go or things to see in Space Engine, let me know in the comments below. And I'll go from there. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and space